Are you struggling to update your Docker Compose file from version 2 to version 3? You're not alone. Many users face this challenge, and today we're going to simplify it for you. I totally get it. Transitioning between versions can be confusing, especially when you have specific configurations like memswap limit that you need to replace. It's a common hurdle for many developers. Let's dive into the specific question at hand. One user asked, how do I replace memswap limit in my Docker Compose file when upgrading to version 3? They provided their current configuration, which includes memlimit and memswap limit. Sound familiar? Let's tackle this together. So what's the deal with memswap limit? In Docker Compose version 3, resource constraints have changed. Instead of using memswap limit, you will need to use deploy.resources.limits.memory. This change can be a bit tricky, but I'll guide you through it. Stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a bonus tip that will help you optimize your Docker configurations even further. To replace the memswap limit in the Docker Compose file version 3, the user should first understand that the memswap limit option is no longer available. Instead, they will use the deploy section to set resource limits. Next, the user should modify their docker compose.yml file to include the deploy section. This section allows them to specify memory limits using the resources key. In this example, the user sets a memory limit of 512 megabytes for the database service. It's important to note that the deploy section is only effective in swarm mode. If the user is not using swarm mode, they can still set memory limits using the memlimit option directly under the service definition. However, this is not recommended for version 3. Finally, the user should save the changes to their docker compose.yml file and deploy the updated configuration using the docker compose command. Fun fact, Docker was originally developed for Linux, but now it runs on Windows and Mac too. It's amazing how technology evolves. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. One user points out that in Docker Compose version 3, the memswap limit option is no longer available. They mention that this has been noted by others in the community, and a ticket has been submitted to Docker's GitHub for potential reinstatement. For now, they suggest being aware of swap memory usage and inspecting your Docker container to see memory and swap details. Additionally, the user mentions that you can use the docker run command as an alternative to Docker Compose for setting memory and swap limits. Let's move forward and look at another answer. An alternative solution suggests using the new resources section in Docker Compose version 3. This section allows you to combine the older memlimit and memswap limit into a single memory configuration. Here's that bonus tip I promised. Always check the official Docker documentation for the latest updates on resource constraints. Staying informed can save you a lot of headaches down the line. And there you have it. You've successfully updated your Docker Compose file. Remember, keeping your configurations up to date is crucial for optimal performance. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks.